Hello students, welcome to biology class. Today we are going to discuss a new chapter, Principles of Inheritance and Variation. This chapter comes under your second unit of biology syllabus. Under second unit there are three chapters: Principles of Inheritance and Variation, Molecular Basis of Inheritance and Evolution. All the three chapters are very important. For your board examination, you can expect nearly 26 marks question from this unit. Let us see the contents of this chapter. Introduction, Mendel and Mendelism, Mendel's laws of inheritance, one gene inheritance, two gene inheritance. Here Mendel explained his laws of inheritance based on monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. And next topic is deviations from Mendelism. Under that we are going to discuss incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple allelism, polygenes, pleiotropy. Next topic is chromosomal theory of inheritance, linkage and recombination, and small topics, sex determination, mutation, pedigree analysis, and very important topic for your examination, Mendelian disorders or gene disorders and chromosomal disorders. Let us see the introduction part. Before moving to important concepts of this chapter, you must know what is genetics. Genetics is a branch of science which deals with study of heredity and variation. Genetics is a branch of science that deals with the study of heredity and variation. What is heredity? Heredity is nothing but inheritance of characters. Heredity is nothing but inheritance of characters or transmission of characters from one generation to the other or from parents to the offsprings. So heredity is a transmission of characters from one generation to the other or from parents to the offsprings. Then what is variation? Variation is nothing but degree of difference. Variation is nothing but degree of difference. The differences between the parents and the offsprings or offsprings of the same parents or individuals of the same species. In general, in nature you may observe some of the characters are common in the siblings, or we share our common characters or similar characters with our parents or grandparents. What is responsible for these common characters? This is due to heredity or inheritance of characters. We inherit those characters from our parents or grandparents. Being the children of same parent, we are unique. We inherit some of the unique characters. Right? This is because of variation. This variation may be due to environmental influence or due to the gene we inherit from our parents. So, genetics is a branch of science that deals with the study of heredity and variation. Heredity is nothing but inheritance of characters or the transmission of character from one generation to the other or from parents to the offsprings. So variation is the difference between the parents and the offsprings or offsprings of the same parents or individuals of the same species. So the term genetics was coined by William Bateson. Students, try to remember this. This is very important for your examination. The term genetics was coined by William Bateson in the year 1906. Now we'll move to some of the important terminologies coming in this chapter. Right? First important term is gene. What is gene? Gene is the segment of DNA which code for a particular protein. Gene is a segment of DNA which code for particular protein, or it is a basic unit of heredity. It's a basic unit of heredity. What is allele? Allele is the alternative form of a single gene occupying same locus on a homologous chromosome. This is very important definition for your examination. Allele is a alternative form of a single gene occupying same locus on a homologous chromosome. Right? What is homologous chromosome? This is a chromosome or a pair of chromosomes which possess similar genes for a particular character. For example, you take chromosomes in human. Diploid number is 46, right? Haploid number is 23. There are 23 pairs of chromosome in human. Each pair there are two chromosomes. One chromosome inherit from father, one chromosome inherit from mother. So here genes present on that pair of chromosome is similar. Locus or position of the gene also same, but the genes or alleles may be different. So allele is an alternative form of a single gene occupying same locus on a homologous chromosome. What is locus? Locus is nothing but position of a allele in a chromosome. Locus is nothing but position of a allele in chromosome, in plural loci. Okay. Next, very important two terms in the examination. You may expect the difference. They'll ask difference between phenotype and genotype. What is phenotype? Phenotype is nothing but external appearance, physical appearance. Okay, the physical appearance of trait. Trait means character. The physical appearance of a trait in an organism is called phenotype. Very important, students. So the physical appearance of a trait in an organism is called phenotype. What is genotype then? The genetic makeup or genetic constitution of an organism is called genotype. So phenotype is nothing but external appearance, but genotype is a genetic constitution or genetic makeup of an organism is called genotype. Okay, here you can see tall and dwarf is given as an example, right? By seeing the plant, you can identify this is tall plant, this is dwarf plant. Okay, that is phenotype, physical appearance. Genotype, being a tall plant, it may have different types of genotypes. Okay, so one more term, that is homozygous. What is homozygous? The individual having identical genes in an allelic pair. Very important. The individual having identical genes in an allelic pair of for a character is called homozygous. If the individual have unidentical or different alleles for a character, then it is called heterozygous condition. For a particular character, there are two alleles are present in a chromosome, homologous pair of chromosome. Here, both the chromosomes possess similar type, then condition is called homozygous. You see here, tallness, tall character is represented by capital T. If both the alleles possess tall character, then it is called homozygous. If allele shows recessive character, the alternative allele for tallness, dwarf character, short character, then we'll represent it as small t in lower case. Okay, so very important, students. For particular character, there are two alleles, right? It may be of similar type, then homozygous condition. If it is of two different type, then it is called heterozygous condition. Next, two important terms, dominant gene and recessive gene. What is dominant gene? See, the gene that expresses its character in heterozygous condition. I already told you what is heterozygous condition. For a particular character, if two alleles are of different type are present, then condition is called heterozygous in a hybrid. Okay, so if out of those two alleles, if one is expressed in presence of its alternative allele, the expressed allele is called dominant allele or dominant gene. The gene that expresses itself in presence of its alternative allele in a heterozygous condition is called dominant gene. Then what is recessive gene? the gene that failed to express itself, the gene that failed to express itself in presence of its alternative allele in a heterozygous condition is called recessive allele or a gene. So in a heterozygous condition, two different alleles are present. The one which expresses itself in presence of its alternative allele, that allele or gene is called dominant gene. The one which failed to express is called recessive gene. Let us see the next term, hybrid. The progeny obtained by crossing two parents that differ in characters are called hybrids. Generally, hybrids are obtained by crossing individuals or parents which have superior characters. Therefore, the hybrid obtained by this cross are always superior than their parents. Next we'll move to phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio. You already know what is phenotype. Phenotype is nothing but physical appearance. What is genotype? Genotype is a genetic constitution of an individual. Based on the external appearance, if you are writing the ratio, then it is called phenotypic ratio. Based on the genetic constitution, if you are writing the ratio, then it is called genotypic ratio. So phenotypic ratio, the correct proportion of phenotype in population. Genotypic ratio is the correct proportion of genotype in population. Let us begin with Mendelism. Gregor Johann Mendel is popularly known as father of genetics. He is an Austrian monk. He was born on July 22nd, 1822. Basically, he was a mathematician. He studied physics and mathematics. But he was very much interested in hybridization experiments on garden pea plant. He cultivated and tested approximately 28,000 pea plants for 7 years and gave his laws governing inheritance of traits. In 1865, Mendel delivered 2 lectures on his findings on the Natural History Society in Brno. They published the results of his studies on journal the following year under the title Experiments on Plant Hybrids. So Pisum sativum, garden pea plant, was the experimental plant in Mendel's experiments. Mendel died in 1884. Until his death, his work was not given recognition or credit. After 16 years after his death, his works were rediscovered by 3 scientists individually, namely Hugo de Vries in Holland, Karl Correns in Germany, Erich von Schamarck in Austria. After rediscovery of his work was given recognition. Now we'll see why Mendel's work remained unrecognized. Very important point. At that time, communication was not easy. His work could not be widely publicized. It is not published in any of the international journal. The second one, he was a mathematician. So he used mathematics to solve or explain the biological phenomenon, which was totally new and it is not accepted by biologists of his time. Next very important point. Mendel suggested that factors are discrete units, but it is not accepted by biologists. Now we know that factors are genes. At that time there is no knowledge of gene or DNA. There is no much advanced microscopes were at that time. So Mendel's concept of factors were not accepted by the people. According to him, factors are the discrete units which are responsible for transmission of characters from one generation to other. And one more important point, he could not explain the continuous variation in nature. Generally, we can see there are continuous variation in the nature, but Mendel is not able to explain why those variations are appear in the nature. Next, very important, he could not present any physical evidence for the existence of factors. What are factors? Factors are made up of what? Where they are present, how they are transmitted from one generation to other. Such concepts were not explained by Mendel. Now we'll discuss reasons for Mendel's success. Mendel selected only pure breeding varieties of pea. What do you mean by pure breeding? Pure breeding is nothing but homozygous plant. How can you obtain pure breed? By continuous cell pollination or inbreeding you can obtain pure breed. Mendel selected only pure breeds for his experiments. He never used hybrid. The next important point, Mendel selected only one or two contrast characters at a time. What do you mean by contrast character? Easily distinguishable characters are called contrast character. For example, if I take the example of flower color, if I show two flowers, one with purple color, one with white color, you can easily identify which one is purple, which one is white. Then very important one more point is Mendel selected only those traits do not show linkage and incomplete dominance. This is very important. He was very lucky enough to take those plants which show only dominant and recessive characters. The characters selected by him do not show any linkage or incomplete dominance. Next, being a mathematician, he kept record of every cross and recorded very precisely. He conducted experiments on large number of plants of same trait. For any result to be get accurate value, you must take large samples. He used statistical methods and laws of probability to analyze his results. He used statistical methods and probability to analyze his results of hybridization experiments. Now we'll discuss reasons for choosing pea plant. This is very important for your board examination. They'll ask why Mendel selected garden pea plant or Pisum sativum for his hybridization experiments. Pea plants are easy to cultivate and produce large number of seeds. Pea plants are very easy to cultivate in the backyard and produce large number of seeds. So progeny obtained are more. Then pure variety are available because it is a bisexual plant. So easily by self pollination you can obtain pure variety or homozygous plants. Life cycle of plants are very short. Within 3 months you can obtain next generation, so that result can be got early. Next, flowers are bisexual. I already told you flowers are bisexual and normally self-pollinated. If you allow in nature as such, it go for self-pollination. It can be also cross-pollinated manually. If you are interested in cross-pollination manually, you can go for cross-pollination. Then hybrids obtained are fertile in nature. Next, seeds do not show dormancy. Seeds do not show dormancy. In some of the plants, in next generation, if you sow, they are not going to germinate. So here in pea plant, the seeds do not show dormancy. Then plants show contrasting characters. Mendel able to identify 7 different contrast characters in pea plant. The Mendel selected, these are the 7 characters for his experiment. Flower color, flower position, pod color, pod shape, seed color, seed shape and stem height. What is the difference between character and trait? Here you see 7 characters with contrasting traits. Character, for example, flower color is a character. Here violet and white are traits, so that you can identify violet and white flowers. So in the next picture you can see the contrast character. You see here seed shape, round and wrinkled. Here round shape is always dominant over wrinkle. Seed color, yellow seed is always dominant over green seed. Flower color, violet flower is always dominant over white. Pod shape, inflated or full, smooth surfaced pod is always dominant over constricted or serrated. Then pod color, green pod is always dominant over yellow pod. Flower position, axillary position and terminal position. Axillary position means if you take this is a stem and if you consider this is a stem and this leaf, the in between position is called axillary position. If flower develops in that position, then it is called axillary position. That is always dominant over terminal. Then stem height, tall character is always dominant over dwarf. So these are the 7 important contrast characters. It is very important for examination. Next, we'll see how Mendel did cross pollination. See, here Mendel selected 2 plants, one producing violet flower, another one producing white flower. Here violet flower is always dominant over white flower. Right? Here you know that flower is bisexual, that means it possesses both the sexes, male as well as female. Here you are converting bisexual flower into unisexual female flower by removing the anthers in a bud condition without damaging pistil. Now that flower is called emasculated flower. The phenomenon is called emasculation. Removal of anther in a bud condition without damaging the pistil is called emasculation. Now emasculated flower is covered with parchment paper or bag. Another flower which you are selected for pollination, you are collecting the pollen grains from that flower and dusted over the stigma of emasculated flower. And once again it is covered with parchment paper or polythene bag to avoid unwanted pollination. Then this fruit, it is allowed to set fruit and collection and germination of seeds to produce offsprings. Now we are going to discuss monohybrid cross or one gene inheritance. What is monohybrid cross? You know what is hybrid. Hybrid is obtained by crossing 2 parents which differ in character. Mono means one. So monohybrid cross is a cross involving 2 individuals differ in 1 pair of contrasting character. Monohybrid cross is a cross involving 2 individuals differ in 1 pair of contrasting character. Then what is monohybrid? It is an individual which is heterozygous. Heterozygous means it possesses 2 alleles of 2 different kind. Okay, heterozygous with respect to only 1 pair of allele. Monohybrid is an individual which is heterozygous with respect to only 1 pair of allele. Here Mendel used stem height for his experiment. He crossed tall and dwarf pea plants to study one gene inheritance. He selected Pisum sativum garden pea plant for his experiment. He crossed pure breeding homozygous. Pure breeding means homozygous tall pea plant with pure breeding or homozygous dwarf pea plant for his experiment. In first generation or first filial generation, he obtained all tall plants. When he allowed them to self-pollination, when he allowed F1 tall plants for self-pollination, in F2 he obtained tall and dwarf plants in the ratio 3:1 respectively. Here you can see the picture. He selected pure breeding tall plant and pure breeding dwarf plant as a parents. When he crossed in F1 generation, he got both all tall plants. When he allowed F1 generation for self-pollination, in F2 generation he got tall and dwarf plants in the ratio 3:1. Now we will see the schematic representation of monohybrid cross. Okay. Now we will take P1 generation or parents homozygous tall or pure breeding tall plant. We will cross it with homozygous dwarf pea plant. we'll write the genotype of the individual, genetic makeup of an individual. Here you know that each character is represented by 2 alleles. Each character is represented by 2 alleles. Here tall character is dominant, so we'll write capital T. Now dwarf character is represented by lowercase t. When he crossed pure breeding tall plant with pure breeding dwarf plant, in F1 he obtained tall and dwarf. Now we'll make the gametes. Here we'll draw gametes. Each gamete possesses 1 allele. Each gamete possesses 1 allele, right? So because it is haploid, one of the allele passed to a gamete. Okay, when it is crossed in the F1, both the alleles combine and obtain capital T and small t. This is hybrid. Hybrid or heterozygous. Hybrid tall. Phenotypically it is tall. Individual is hybrid, heterozygous, because both the alleles are different. One is dominant, another one is recessive. When he allow it to self-pollination, F1 into F1. Here we'll write self-pollination. When pollen grains of the same flower falls on the stigma of the same flower, then the pollination is called self-pollination. Okay, and when F1 is crossed with F1, we'll write here capital T small t is crossed with capital T small t. F1 individual. Now we'll write gametes capital T small t capital T small t. Here each allele pass to a gamete. Here capital T forms 1 gamete, small t form 1 gamete. They move separately. Okay. In F2 generation, second filial generation, now we'll cross capital T with capital T with small t. I'll write here capital T, capital T, capital T, small t. And we'll select one more gamete, small t, with capital T of another individual, capital T, small t, and here one more small t, small t. Now we got 4 individual. These are the genotypes. Now we'll write the phenotypes. This is tall, this one also tall, this one also tall, and this is dwarf. Dwarf means short. Okay. Now phenotypic ratio. Here this one is pure tall, this one is pure dwarf. These two are heterozygous tall by possessing different alleles. Now I'll write the phenotypic ratio. Now by observing the phenotype, we got 3 tall, right? So 3:1. 3 tall plant, 1 dwarf plant. Genotypically, genotypic ratio, here capital T only 1, then capital T small t, heterozygous individuals are 2, and homozygous dwarf is 1. So we got genotypic ratio 1:2:1, phenotypic ratio 3:1. Now we'll discuss the result. The F2 generation consists of 3 types of plants, right? Homozygous tall, heterozygous tall, homozygous dwarf, genotypically, right? Homozygous tall 25%, heterozygous tall 50%, homozygous dwarf is 25%. That's why phenotypic ratio is 3:1. This is very important for your board examination. They'll ask, write the phenotypic ratio of monohybrid cross, 3:1. Genotypic ratio 1:2:1 based on the genotype. Now, Mendel observed that traits which were absent in F1 generation had reappeared in the F2 generation. He called such suppressed traits as recessive traits and expressed traits as dominant traits. See, in the F1, he got all tall plants. He crossed homozygous dominant with homozygous recessive. In F1 generation, he got all the individuals of tall type. So, here recessive character is not expressed, but in the F2 generation once again recessive character is appeared. So, the character which is expressed is called dominant character or trait. Trait is nothing but genetically determined character. Okay, the suppressed trait which is failed to express, here dwarf character, okay, that is called recessive trait. He concluded that some factor, something is transferred from one offsprings to other, one offsprings to other, or parents to its offsprings or successive generation. So now we know that factors are nothing but genes. Okay, so in an organism, inheritance of each character is controlled by a pair of factors. In an organism, inheritance of each character is controlled by pair of factors. Later, these factors were called genes. Okay, genes are responsible for inheritance of trait. According to Mendel, factors, they are responsible for inheritance of character. Now we know that factors are nothing but genes, so they are responsible for inheritance of trait from one generation to other. So genes consist of a pair of allele which code for different trait. Genes consist of pair of allele, this is important, which code for different trait. For any character you are selecting for cross, you must write two alleles for a character. It may be homozygous or heterozygous. Each character is controlled by pair of allele. So based on monohybrid cross, Mendel proposed two laws of inheritance, very important students, law of dominance and law of segregation. Now we will discuss Mendel's laws of inheritance. First law is law of dominance. According to this law, characters are controlled by discrete units called factors. Factors occurs in pairs. In a dissimilar pair of factors, one member of a pair dominates the other. According to monohybrid cross, Mendel explained law of dominance, right? Here characters are controlled by discrete units called factors. Factors always occur in pairs, and in a dissimilar pair, in the sense in the heterozygous condition, one member of the pair always dominates the other. According to second law, law of segregation, this is very important. Whenever a pair of factors for a character is brought together in hybrid, they segregate separately during the formation of gamete. I repeat, whenever pair of factors for a character is brought together in hybrid, they segregate separately during the formation of gamete. Thank you.